We are done with the match day 2 of the Premier League, and of course, that concluded with Liverpool's hard 4-3-2 win against Newcastle United at the St. James's Park. That was an entertaining game to watch. But these are the things I observed from the match day 2 of the Premier League. You're welcome to Neblaster TV, and let's really get into it. The first thing first that I observed is that Manchester United is still visibly struggling under Ruben Amorim. In fact, his tactics aren't working yet. I'm not going to sit down here and tell you that Ruben Amorim is a bad manager. We saw what he did with Sporting, but it looks like the personnel he has available, they are not really good enough for that tactics, or he is not using them the right way. Because tell me, how can Manchester United have more games and more points since you took over as a manager? Man United have played 29 Premier League games and they've had 28 points. That is a relegation form. That is a relegation point. If that was to be a full season of the Premier League, let's say was not last season, it was to be a full season of the Premier League, United should be playing in the Championship. And I kid you not. No wonder Man United finished 15th last season in the Premier League, because if Ruben Amorim had this form going on from the start of last season, I put it to you that United would have been in relegation by now. And they've started again this season. How can United have only 7 wins from 29 games? And you call yourself a Man United manager? In fact, that is not even at the status of Manchester United as a club. That is embarrassing. No matter how bad it is, 7 wins from 29 games is terrible. And it looks like that formation that Ruben Amorim is playing is not suitable. Look at the game against Fulham. Look at the way the midfield was just being bypassed. You are playing Casemiro and Fernandes, in the deep. And you expect them to hold on to a midfield? United cannot control game. They cannot create nothing. So I think Ruben Amorim need to find a way to sort out these things, because it is not really making sense at this point in time. The excuse has been so long. Since last season, you're saying, okay, I didn't start the season, I don't have my players. Now you've been able to go through one transfer window. You now have your players. Okay, let me not say you have your players. You've worked with these players at least. Join the preseason. Can't you find a way to fine-tune them to get things going? Despite spending £200 million, United are yet to score a single goal. Spending £200 million in the attacking area, you are yet to score a single goal. And the best chance created in a particular game was done by a goalkeeper. Come on, that is very embarrassing. So United need to do something, because the way it is going, if things are not corrected in time, United will see themselves battling again to even finish in the top half of the Premier League table. Now let's move to the next thing I observed. I've observed that unlike Amorim, Thomas Frank of Tottenham is very, very flexible. He knows how to read games, and he knows how to use the personnel he has at his disposal. Look at the game against Burnley when they won 3-0. He knew that Burnley is not a strong side like that. He knew that he's going to be controlling the possession and all of that. So he decided to go with midfielders that, they don't really need this physicality and all of that. They just need to hold on to the ball. And he made use of the midfield pair of Sarr, Bergville, and Gray. And you saw the way they comfortably controlled that game against Burnley. Now, when he was going to be meeting Manchester City, he knew that this was a Herculean task. He knew that this was going to be a tougher one than Burnley. Now, what did he do? He changed personnel in the midfield. Tweaked his tactics a little bit. Brought in Paulinho, who is on loan from Bayern Munich. Brought in Bentancur to give a solidity, to give a solid nature to that midfield. And saw what happened. We saw what happened. They were able to run over the midfield of Manchester City. Czechia and Rangers couldn't even control the game at all. So I think Thomas Frank should be given kudos, because he's been able to lay his footprint on this Tottenham Sport team. I'm not trying to exaggerate. I'm not trying to say Tottenham is going to win the Champions League or the Premier League and all of that. But I kid you not. You see this Tottenham team, they will at least battle for the top 5 position of the Premier League and try to qualify to the Champions League again next season. I don't know the domestic trophy they're going to be trying to prioritize, maybe the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, but if they prioritize any of these, they will go far in those competitions based on what Thomas Frank is doing. But the good thing is, Thomas Frank has shown that he is flexible, he can read games well, and he's using his team very well. The next thing I observed is that Arsenal is in the driving seat. See, forget anybody that is trying to discredit Arsenal or write them off. You are on your own, though. I know I saw people saying, is it not ordinary Leeds United? That's who they play. Who is Leeds United in the first place? You can only play the team in front of you. You can only get the points in front of you. So Leeds United is also part of a Premier League team. Yes, they are also part of, are they not a Premier League team? So whether they played Leeds United and won the game, the point is Arsenal played who was in front of them and were able to dispatch them. 6 points from 6. They are yet to concede a goal this season. They found a way to play Manchester United at Old Trafford, came out with a 1-0 victory. played against Leeds United, were fantastic in that game. You saw that 5-0 dribbling of Leeds United. The striker, Gyökeres, got a brace in his debut. Yes, and that was phenomenal. And also they unveiled a new player, Eberechi, which is a fantastic and a quality addition to the team that Arsenal has at this point in time. So make no mistake, I know people are trying to judge Arsenal based on what they've done in the past seasons, where you don't trust Arsenal to actually go all the way to crown whatever they are doing with a trophy. But regardless, Arsenal is in the driving seat right now. I don't think there's any team in the Premier League that Arsenal cannot comfortably contend against in terms of quality, positioning of players, and everything, mentality. Arsenal has that at the moment, and I can tell you for free that Arsenal is the team to beat this season in the Premier League. Now, the next thing I observed is that Chelsea have shown that they can win games without Cole Palmer this season. Now, don't get me wrong. I know Cole Palmer fans now will start thinking that maybe I'm trying to discredit whatever Cole Palmer has done, or maybe I'm trying to downplay the importance of Cole Palmer in the team. Not at all. Cole Palmer is still the main man for Chelsea. But Chelsea have shown that even without Cole Palmer, we still have the quality in this team to actually get things going. And one thing I want every Chelsea fan to know is that this is a majority of the teams you're going to be facing in the Premier League are going to come in low block. They are going to defend because, first of all, Chelsea is a big team. Secondly, you're a world champion. And these teams are coming knowing fully well that Chelsea can possess games. They know they have good midfield that can actually hold and control games. So they will not want to contend that with Chelsea. They want to defend and hit Chelsea on a counter. So having noted that, you saw what they did against Crystal Palace. It was so difficult for them to break Crystal Palace down. Now, there was a tweak in the game against West Ham United. The coach, Maresca, was able to bring in João Pedro into the floating 10 position. And not just that, that actually gave freedom to Estavao, on the other side, to do his thing. And Chelsea had more flair, more creativity in that team without Cole Palmer. So the lap playing together with João Pedro worked very well. João Pedro, taking advantage of the openings, dropping into those tiny positions and half spaces. Why the lap was busy, making the defenders very uncomfortable. So Chelsea can actually do well this season and play games and win without Cole Palmer. I'm not saying Cole Palmer is not important. And next on the list is that Liverpool, they still have defensive problems. Forget about the qualities and everything, the array of talent in the attacking areas. Liverpool still have defensive issues this season. Unless they want to be doing, who score you score. So anybody that score more will win the match. But they cannot continue that for a long time because it will be very exhausting. Allowing teams to get back into games is very tiring. Against Bournemouth, you were leading 2-0. They equalized 2-2 before you scored 2 late goals. Against Newcastle United, you were leading 2-0 before they equalized 2-2, and you have to score into the 90 plus 10 minutes. So you cannot continue that way. They are very shaky at the back. Kekes is still struggling in that left area. Yes, Frimpong was not available, but even when he was available against Bournemouth, we saw that he is more attacking than defensive. So I think Frimpong is still struggling a little bit, but I think with time he's going to adjust to that. But Liverpool are still very, very shaky in that defensive areas. And the last but not the least is that the promoted teams are showing that we can fight and actually challenge to remain in the Premier League. One trend that has been happening in the Premier League in recent time is that all the teams that were promoted to the Premier League in the last 2 seasons have all gone back to relegation. So, but this time around, the teams that we have, Sunderland, Burnley, and the like of how am I forgetting that? Sunderland, Burnley, and wait, how am I forgetting the Leeds United? Yes, Leeds United. They have quality, and they've also seen that the quality between them and some of other struggling teams in the Premier League is not that much. So if they can actually give it a kind of push, 1 or 2 of them could actually end up remaining in the Premier League. And the good thing is that at least in the match day 2, all of them have recorded a win, which Man United have not even recorded. So all of them have recorded a win, although one of the games was played, between them, Sunderland and Burnley. But regardless, they look very good to actually contend to remain in the Premier League. And these are some of the things that I observed from the match day 2 of the Premier League. I don't know what you observed, but whatever you observed that I didn't note right here, you can actually put it down in the comment section and also show your own reaction of all the things I've observed right there in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel because I'll be bringing more observation from the league season at Young Foods right here on NetBlaster TV.